Officials with Ameren want to remind you there are ways to save on your electric bill. News 3's Paul Wilcoxen has the details.
With high temperatures set to drop below freezing later this week, officials with Ameren want to remind you there's still time to get your home ready for the cold season. Be mindful of what your thermostat setting is. Officials say the ideal thermostat temperature is 68 degrees. They often recommend lowering it further at night. By lowering your thermostat by as much as 7 to 10 degrees for an 8-hour period can help save you up to 10% off your electric bill. Also, check your windows and doors to make sure there are no cold air leaks. If you're interested in other ways to save money this winter, a home energy audit might be a good idea. Ameren offers a program they believe will help you stay warm while also save you some money. Hear more about that coming up on News 3 at 5. Reporting outside the studio, Paul Wilcoxen, News 3.
With that winter weather system set to hit us, there are a few things to keep in mind if you have to travel this weekend. News 3's Paul Wilcoxen has those details.
A challenge for many of the folks that are planning to travel for the holiday this weekend.
Say what you will about the weather, but there's one thing you can count on. Its timing is impeccable.
We certainly don't recommend being out on the roads during the brunt of the winter weather.
The first significant weather system is set to hit the area later this week, right on the edge of holiday travel season.
The snow itself is not as big a deal as maybe the cold weather that's coming with it. We're looking at lows down in the single digits. We're looking at 35 to 40 mile an hour winds. When the wind chill gets around to minus 10 or minus 20, you can get frostbite within about 20 or 30 minutes.
These factors can result in blizzard-like conditions.
So if you are flexible and you can change your travel plans sort of around that storm, that's what we recommend you go ahead and do.
If travel can't be avoided, it's best to have an emergency kit with you.
We're urging everybody to put together a winter travel kit for their car.
Important items include jumper cables, ways to stay warm like blankets, hats, and gloves, and a flashlight with extra batteries.
Other items to have include a snow brush, ice scraper, some sort of traction material like sand or non-clumping kitty litter, a snow shovel, again, just to help clean your vehicle off.
So if you do find yourself stranded on the side of the road, maybe the best tool to have these days is a well-charged cell phone and a way to charge it in your vehicle.
We're going to be doing everything we can to improve driving conditions and deal with the snow that's coming with it. But the one thing that we can't deal with and that we can't improve is the weather that's coming with it, the extreme temperatures, the extreme cold, the high winds, the blowing snow, the wind chill factor.
Just remember, if you are traveling, keep this in mind.
Be fully prepared for what you're going to get out into.
Paul Wilcoxen, News 3.
Animals. The weather affects them just the same, and right now it's a race against the clock for local farmers who are preparing to keep their livestock safe ahead of this storm. News 3's Paul Wilcoxen talked to one farmer to find out how.
Caring for the animals is hard anyway, but when we have weather like this, it just makes the job more difficult.
Farmers in the Midwest have faced winter weather for generations.
We're no different than any other farmers here in Southern Illinois or anywhere. They're preparing just like we are.
With the first winter storm of the season set to hit on Thursday, farmers are preparing for what's to come.
Our first priority is to making sure that they have water and making sure that our waters don't freeze up.
One key element is making sure all the animals have shelter to escape the cold weather.
If the animals get wet and cold, that's bad. So we want to keep them dry and have some bedding for them so they can stay warm.
With wind chill factors expected to dip down near negative 20 degrees, having plenty of food is essential. Helping to keep those cattle safe during the winter storm is Chris Vick. He's the director of University Farms. He says livestock's food intake will almost double during this time.
In cold weather, they consume a lot more food, so we want to make sure that there's plenty of feed. We're going to put out probably twice as much hay. And just to be sure, we're just going to put out extra and just make sure that they never run out.
Workers at SIU Farm Service Center have spent the last 3 days making sure all the heaters on their water tanks are working. Being prepared also means making sure all the equipment is working correctly. That's why the farm has prepared for winter for a few weeks now.
We didn't want to start preparing right before the storm comes because of, say we have electrical problems with our heaters. Well, physical plant needs time to come out and repair those heaters.
About 100 cows roam the field at the Farm Service Center. And just like most people don't want to stand out when it's cold, Vic says neither do cows.
They're going to stand out in minus 20 degree wind chills.
Reporting in Carbondale, Paul Wilcoxen, News 3.
Continue our coverage with News 3's Paul Wilcoxen, who is in Perry County for us tonight. Paul?
Hey, Mark. This is Paul Wilcoxen here. I am in Perry County, just outside of DuQuoin, coming up on Highway 51 going south. And basically what I'm seeing here is I'm just seeing a lot of snow, wind drift coming across the roads. As you can see through the shot here, we have got a lot of snow on here. Traffic has been pretty decent. People are taking it very slow, driving wise. But as far as the big thing right there, we've been talking about all day long throughout these weather forecasts is the temperature. You know, right now I've got it at 9 degrees outside. So and with the wind blowing, all this snow coming through here is making visibility a little bit touch and go every now and then. So you want to make sure you keep plenty of distance as you're driving. But for the most part, people are being very cautious. Not seeing a lot of slick spots as long as you just kind of maintain your speed. You know, as of right now, I think the speed limit where I'm going on is around 55. I'm going around 30, 35. I feel that's where I feel comfortable at. But as you can see, there's also a nice path here on the road to where people can drive on. So people are still out driving, but it really looks like from what I've been able to see through my travels here in Perry County, people are keeping it very safe. People are obeying at least the speed limit, even driving a little slower like they should as well. I was driving through DuQuoin earlier, and a lot of the snow is, you know, coming off through there on the roads. But you really have to give a lot of credit to the highway departments and the Illinois and IDOT as well to what they've done to these roads, preparing things for the last couple of weeks and the last few days to get these roads ready to go to where people can drive on them as safely as possible. As we can see coming up, we have some traffic coming up through here. Again, these two trucks are driving pretty slow. Now we're starting to get some more snow drift coming across. It's really hard to tell if it's actually snowing or if this is the wind. I was seeing earlier that the wind was blowing a lot of these street signs around, but you can see as the wind is blowing some of the snow off the side, not a lot of accumulation that you could see as well too. So, but we're just going to continue to monitor things. We're going to continue to monitor what's going on through in Perry County and throughout the area. Just make sure you hit that Storm Track 3 app as well. So here in Perry County, I want to send it back to you in the desk.
Continue our team coverage with News 3's Paul Wilcoxen. He's been in Perry County for us this afternoon, and right now he's in Pinckneyville. Paul, what can you tell us?
Hey, Mark and Julie. I am in Pinckneyville right now, still making my way around Perry County, just taking a look at roads and see how things are going right now. As you can see in front of me, we have one of the IDOT trucks. So they are dropping some salt and moving some of that snow out of the way. I've been seeing a lot more of these IDOT trucks around the past 20 or 30 minutes just coming up here toward Pinckneyville area on 127. So now I'm kind of going towards the south area. And a lot of these trucks are just trying to making their way through here. People are doing their best to avoid them, going around them. As you can see, again, these IDOT trucks are out a little bit more. So they're dropping that sand and that salt on these roads. Again, it's the cold weather that's getting everything right now. Earlier, I checked the Storm Track 3 app, and we're looking at negative 12 degrees right now, and it's going to continue to drop down. So I'm going to continue to monitor some of these roads throughout our area to see how things have been going, to continue to track some of these IDOT workers as they're continuing to go out here and dropping the salt and moving the snow from the road. So I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Paul.
Is also out in the elements for us right now. And Paul, what are you looking at out there?
Well, Julie, I'm continuing my trip around the area. Now I am in Jackson County. I'm here in Murfreesboro, taking the trip here. Right now I'm on Walnut Street in Murfreesboro, checking out some of the roads. Once again, you're seeing a lot of IDOT. You're seeing a lot of street workers, county street workers coming through there, plowing the roads, getting a lot of the salt and a lot of sand on the roads to try to help things out a little bit as well too. You're seeing a lot of wind as well too. The wind is really blowing that snow around, so it's kind of really hurting things as far as getting it off of there. The snow is very packed. There are a lot of places that I'm seeing that where it doesn't even look like it's even snowed. Like you see a lot of the roads, and then every now and then you see like a lot of patches of snow, and some slick spots as well. So continue, people, to drive slow if you have to be out of there. I'm going to continue to drive around and check out things here in Jackson County. And for now, I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.
For you. We've also got News 3's Paul Wilcoxen out in the elements for us tonight. Paul, how are you doing out there?
Yeah, Julie, I'm on Highway 13 here in Jackson County between Murfreesboro and Carbondale, just on my way to Carbondale. And some of the things I'm seeing right now is the road conditions are not great right now, as far as I'm slipping around quite a bit, losing a lot of my traction. There's even at one point where I couldn't even see where the road was at. The snow and the drift was covering it so much. I actually was on the side of the road, and I just happened to see a little gap into the snow that I saw the white lines right there too. So I just realized I wasn't even on the road. I couldn't even see where I was at, where I was driving. But the conditions have gotten a little worse here the last, I would say, 15, 20 minutes, to where a lot more snow is coming down, a lot more wind is blowing over. So it's making things very slick, very icy, you have to really be careful when you're out here. I was just checking out the Storm Track 3 app a while ago. Yes, it says it's 5 degrees outside, but it said it was negative 14 wind chill. So it's just going to continue to get colder and colder with that wind chill. You can just really see that wind just whipping through here. You can hear it. You can see it through the signs on the side of the road and everything. So we're just going to continue to monitor things. We're going to continue to monitor the roads here. But again, be careful out there. Give yourself time. If you have to come up to a stop, like right now, I'm coming up under this red light. Got to give yourself a few more extra feet to stop right there. So just be careful. I'm going to send it back to you to the studio as I continue to make my way through Jackson County.
Paul, thank you. And please be.
Yeah, Julie, I'm here in Carbondale, driving the roads here on Highway 13, and I can tell you it's still very slick. The roads are covered up with snow, a lot of slick spots out there. So again, if you don't have to be out, please don't be out. Stay home, enjoy some hot cocoa at home, maybe enjoy a nice Christmas movie or something, but just don't get out because it's just really not worth it. Just these roads are just really slick right now, but we're going to continue to monitor things as things continue, and I'm going to send it right back to the studio. To you, Julie.
Roads News 3's Paul Wilcoxen is out in Pinckneyville for us. Paul, how's it looking out there?
Yeah, Julie here at Pinckneyville, and I was coming up here checking out the roads to see how things are. And if the roads and the weather aren't bad enough, officials here at Pinckneyville, the fire department and surrounding areas are battling this fire here on Walnut Street. So I'm here at this fire here. One of the things I've talked to with some of these firefighters here is the water issues that are coming through here. I'm going to flip the camera around here to see if we can just take a little quick shot. So as you can see, all this smoke and this fire and it's coming through here. And I've talked to some of these firefighters here, and they're talking about the lack of water that's coming through. It's so cold here right now that some of the water is freezing. It's not coming out right. So they're having a hard time battling this fire. They've brought in backhoes as well. And just the combination of everything is really making it tough for a lot of these firefighters right now. So they're continuing to battle this thing here. It seems like they somewhat have it under control. It's not really spread out to any of other buildings or anything. But right now with this wind that is coming in right now, it is making it really hard to see. And again, with the low temperatures right now and the wind chill factors in the negatives, it is 0 degrees outside. It's having a hard time with some of this water, running out of water, having enough water and different things like that too. As far as the road conditions up here, same as about as usual as it was earlier. It's very windy, some slick spots out there, so please be careful. So I'm going to stick around here for a little bit and just hopefully maybe talk to somebody and kind of see what's going on here. So I'm going to send it back into the studio live in Pinckneyville. Paul Wilcoxen, News 3.
All right, Paul, thank you for keeping an eye on that for us. Please be careful out.